Meeting back to order. At this time, we're gonna have comments from other elected officials. We have Miss Susan Harrison, EMA. Anything at this time, Miss Susan? Done been recognized from helping the Ham people, so congratulations. I didn't realize you had a part in that too, so you do wear a lot of hats.
Yeah. I have a spot in my EOC on radio there, so if I ever need radio communications, I know I have it with them.
Good deal. Mr. Patterson, anything at this time?
I don't have anything this time.
Liam?
I can wait till the end.
Okay. All right, let's come on down to the consent agenda. You have in front of you, or been emailed, the minutes from May 22nd, 2025 workshop, May 27th, 2025 regular meeting, June 4th, 2025 workshop, and June 10th, 2025 regular meeting. At this time, I entertain a motion to accept the minutes as done.
Make a motion, we accept them.
Have a motion from Tommy,
I'll second.
second from Robbie. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We have nothing under old business. Going down to the new business, we have consider resolution for the City Board of Education, for the Opp City Board of Education. I think Mr. Watson had come up here and presented something about possibly having a resolution passed because the City of Opp is actually looking to have a bond issue. This is a sales tax that's already in place. It's just kind of wanting to secure it for a longer period of time, saying the commission will not take it away. It's nothing to add a new sales tax by any means whatsoever. It's already a sales tax that was passed, I want to say about 7 to 8 years ago by the commission, a 1/2 cent sales tax.
2017.
17, so about, okay. So at this time, I would entertain a motion. You have the resolution in order in front of you to entertain a motion to.
I would like to make a motion that we accept the resolution for the Opp City Board of Education.
I have a motion from Ben to accept the resolution for the City Board of Education of Opp. Do I have a second? At this time, I have no second on the floor, so that motion will die without a lack of a second. The next is consider adopting a resolution of sales tax exemption, pages is it 3, 4, and 5? Yes, pages 4 and 5 in your packet. Is that correct?
3 and 4.
Yeah, pages 4 and 5.
4 and 5.
This is to cover, Karen, is this the,
This is the, Morgan, would you rather cover this?
Yes.
I would have you, yes. This was a little confusing the other night. Okay, so the state of Alabama legislature passed a new law this last session saying there's a new process to follow when counties opt in to a local sales and use tax exemption that the state otherwise offers on the state side of sales and use taxes. In Covington County, we have previously participated in a back-to-school sales tax holiday in the month of June and a severe weather preparedness sales tax holiday that's typically in February of each year. For this year, 2025, the commission had previously opted in to both of those sales tax holidays. What has happened with this new law is just the process has changed. So they're saying, please adopt this resolution that says you still want to participate, submit it to the Alabama Department of Revenue by July 1st. And it's now going to be posted on a website so that everyone across the state will know about all of the sales and use tax exemptions that are offered. And so there's a little bit of walking backwards just to clean up where we've already been. So these two resolutions, the first is for the school tax holiday. The second is for the severe weather preparedness holiday. And if you adopted this today, it would just be re-adopting something that this commission has already done, but saying, yes, we will continue to participate in those two holidays. And at any point that you choose not to, you can rescind it, and we can walk through that process as well.
So this is basically just a different form that we have to go through, a little
Yes,
red
sir.
tape we have to go through of two holidays that we already have adopted
Yes.
to participate in for sales tax. One is, of course, being the back to schools, and the other one being the severe weather.
Yes, sir.
This is just some new, language from the state, easiest way to put it.
That's right.
So at this time, I would entertain a motion to re-adopt the two sales tax holidays.
I'll make a motion.
Have a motion from Robbie,
And I second.
second from Lynn. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Item C, we took care of just a few minutes ago with the Amateur Radio Week. Item D is consider changes orders at the, ADA ramp at the courthouse. That's pages 9 through 12 in your packet. Ms. Karen, I'm gonna let you explain that a little bit more. She come in and explained to me earlier, but
Okay, in front of you, I also gave you a recap sheet. Basically, we have to, consider proposals, for the change orders at the ADA ramp, concerning the handrails. The first change order was proposal number 3. It is changing the material to aluminum. The other item, it was in the bid packet as a different material, and they have suggested we go with aluminum for better, life expectancy of the
less maintenance and longer
maintenance and all.
lifespan
It was a
of the
lot of different
material.
things. There was proposal number 4 with a miscalculation in the quantity of the stone. Proposal number 5 was a quote for handrails all the way around the courthouse on all the property that we own so that it would all match. 5 was substitute with 5A and 5B. 5A would be the part that would be considered in this bid packet. 5B would be outside of it, would be a capital improvement project if you decide to approve that. Proposal number 6 is concerning the sidewalk pavers, for the, replacement of the sidewalk there at the west side of the courthouse. The city has agreed to go in and replace the brick if we would have the paver panels formed and poured, and so that would be a change order for 6. So my recommendation is definitely to, go ahead and make a motion to get these items in the works, especially 3, 5, and 6, in order for us to complete this project and move on within specified time.
And the money will actually come out of the contingency fund that's already set aside for this
In part of
project.
the bid, that's correct.
That's in part of the bid packet.
And that's why there would be the second section would be a capital improvement on 5B for consideration so that we would be able to have all of them matching. And of course, this price does include powder coating, and so that's optional. If you do not want it powder coated, it would just be the aluminum, but you could do powder coat if you want to have it a color.
Commissioners, what is your ideas or suggestions on this?
Philip, what's your recommendation as far as powder coating or aluminum?
I would leave it aluminum. I wouldn't like that.
Just straight aluminum?
Yes, sir.
I would like to do the handrails with the mid rails just for a extra safety, stability.
I think we mentioned that to Susan last week, and you're in agreement as the safety director.
Yeah, it's not a requirement for the ADA, but it's safety wise, yes.
I agree.
You can see the
Yeah,
pictures, how they have the two rails on them.
I agree.
Just look at the rails on the front, and they need attention too, so it'd be a good time if y'all can do it all at one time.
I make a motion to do proposal 3, 5, and 6 without the powder coat of the handrails.
So I have a motion from Robbie to do the proposals 3, 5, and 6, the ones that's mentioned without the powder coated handrails.
And you're including in that motion the miscalculation of the stone?
No.
No,
Okay.
need to skip
All right,
forward.
3, 5, and 6, we don't have that on paper, so I know you just read it, but could you do 3, 5, and 6 as individuals?
Okay.
Or, yeah, thank
There you
you.
Proposal 3 was the changing of existing handrail material to aluminum.
Okay.
5 is all the handrails, but it's been replaced with 5A and 5B, so that it's broken down by what would be included in our ADA bid project. 5B would be a capital improvement project that would need to come out of our funds. And then proposal 6 was labor and materials to install the additional brick paver panel forms for the sidewalk.
And we did get that worked out with the city.
We did.
Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Good. So I have a motion from Robbie for
3, 5, and 6 without the powder coat.
3, 5, and 6 without the powder coat. Do I have a second? Oh, they still looking.
No, not without, they were all done.
Philip, are those painted or powder coated already, the existing?
I think they're painted.
Those are painted
There's steel.
and they're steel.
You just leave them aluminum, you're gonna have that look the whole lifespan of it. You powder coated, it's gonna eventually chip and everything else, and you're gonna be back in the same position.
Okay.
So your idea probably then would be if in the future that if we wanted these replaced, then we would replace them with aluminum?
That's
That's part of
proposal
the-
five.
That's part of this?
That's proposal 5.
Everything at the courthouse.
Okay, everything at the courthouse, and we're going to correct the one on the side of the driver's license will be moved?
Yes.
That's
You
part
have
of the
a-
bid project.
Okay,
That's another one. That was part of that one was part of our bid
Yes, A
package,
and
correct?
D would
Yes.
be part of the ADA. bid.
so we need a second, is that what we're
Yes,
waiting
ma'am.
on? And I'll second it.
We'll have a second from Ms. Lynn. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? This next one's consider awards for bid for Sheriff's Department. We received no bid, so that's pretty easy. We don't have to consider anything there. Item F is consider giving authorization to administrator to obtain appraisal on real property. That's a. Can we say what piece it is?
Um,
Can we say what piece it is, or just that we know this? Okay. It is a piece of property that could be beneficial to the county commission where it's located. It's just after this is given, Karen the ability to go out and actually get an appraisal on the piece of property.
I
So
make
this-
a motion that we go forward with an appraisal on the piece of property.
I'll second.
Have a motion from Ben, a second from Tommy. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
That was Robbie.
All opposed? The, next one is the
I got that one.
announced expired board appointments for the Covenant County E911 Board. That is, page 13 in the actual packet itself. There'll be 2 positions that will be, that has expired
Yes,
at the end of last month.
and I've spoken with both, and both are willing to be reappointed.
We are, it's myself and Sheriff Terman. Sheriff Terman's position is one I think that kinda has to be on there, if I'm not correct. Is that not correct, Kyle, because of that, or do you remember the actual?
It's up to you, the commission.
And then the one is the position for the commission, to have a seat on the 911 board. I'm willing to reserve, and I know Blake would be willing to reserve also. At this time, I'd entertain a motion to accept.
I make a motion that Blake and Michael be put back on the 911 board. I think y'all are definitely the most qualified.
I have a motion from Ben, thank you.
I'll second.
Have a second from Robbie. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The next one is announced expiration of the Covington County Personnel Review Board. We have pages,
We're lost, okay? You're just moving on, we're just lost as we can be over here. We're trying to catch up.
I'm good.
Did
we
we
always
miss?
talking when we was doing business.
No, we were trying to figure out this. Did we not have to vote on the stone replacement? Is that just canceled out? Okay,
Correct.
That's
That was
what I-
part of
that's
what
I
was-
told her. She's-
no, you
Was
didn't.
not in that.
Storytelling. You
Um,
didn't know either.
Again, back to the Personnel Review Board, there will be 4 members that expire next month.
That's correct.
There will be Shannon Wiggins, Gary Strickland, Farrell Watley, and Cynthia Donaldson. I've not spoken with any of those personally. Has anybody else spoken?
Shannon, we did last week.
Yes, I have received Shannon Wiggins' application to be reappointed. We have not been able to contact the others in the short amount of time that we've had since we met last.
I think we need to, I make a motion, we table this to.
And speak with-
See if we can get a hold of, make sure we got people that wanna do it, so.
Have a motion from Ben.
You're technically just announcing it, so I think that's aligned with what you wanna do. You don't need to take a motion to table it.
Okay.
You're announcing, and you can receive applications.
So we're just gonna announce that those positions and reach out to these people. The next will be consider recommendation for retail beer license for
Beat
Go
the
ahead.
beat.
Beat the beat.
Beat the Beach? Okay, I was making sure,
I'm
I was making
guessing.
sure I wasn't missing a few letters on mine right there.
That
Miss-
is in my district, District 3. It's on Highway 55 South. If I understood the application correctly, I'm not sure that I did. I think it's going to be a, no, don't do that. I think it's going to be like an antique store or, hush. Anyway, and they're going to sell beer on the sides, my understanding, but now that may not be right. But with all that to be said, we have a couple of things we're still trying to find out. And so I want to, I guess, make the motion that we will table this until the next meeting, till we have time for everything to go through and make sure that
So
we're doing.
we have a motion to
I-
table.
There's a lady here with her hand up, but I don't know her. And I don't know anybody. I don't know these people, so I have no one way or the other with it.
You don't have questions?
Okay.
Okay, well, Ms. Holmes, them have a, go ahead, Maureen, you say something?
The motion is to table, which means it will be brought up at the next meeting if it passes. Just making sure.
Right,
We're
'cause
all on the
there's
same
some
page.
questions, I think, that Ms.
There
Holmes
is,
had that she
there's
wanted
some
to talk about.
questions that, I think that,
So I will second Ms. Holmes'
okay.
motion.
And we'll table that item until, I'm sorry, have a motion from Ms. Holmes, a second from Ben. All in favor of this motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, so this will be tabled until the next
Commission meeting, which is 2 weeks. I believe.
Chuck, you wanna come on up? I think you got the next three. Is consider approval for insolvents, heirs, tax, litigation for 2024, discuss the 2025, ad valorem abstract review, and then discuss property tax trends for 2025.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you. First, let's talk about the insolvents, heirs, and litigations. What we're doing is we're closing out the year 2024. We're finished with it. We dispersed all the money to all the entities. We had some insolvents, which is a business personal property that didn't pay their bills. It's very difficult to collect sometimes when you have a small mom and pop or one person going into business and they don't make it. About December, they decided to close. Well, our year's already started in October, so they're already in for the next year to pay. I'll continue working on insolvents, and I will continue collecting this money, but we do have some every year, and that's what I'm telling you here today. And then I need for you as chairman to sign off on the insolvents, errors, and litigations for 2024. Roughly, we had $1,800 worth of insolvents, $13,000.5 in errors in assessment. And what this 13.5 is, let me explain that to y'all. If somebody lives in the county and they're sick, or somebody passes away, they forget to turn in their over 65 exemption forms. And we do everything we can to call them and get in touch with them. But sometimes they're in the hospital, they're in a nursing home. We finally do find them, or they come in to pay their taxes, and they say, oh, I don't owe any taxes, I'm exempt. Well, they forgot to turn that form in. I do an ERA. I go in and create an ERA and take it back to a zero tax amount and give that money back to them. I can't charge them from the taxes. So the auditor audits me, and I have to explain all that to the auditors on each individual one that I do, but that's the kind of person I am. So if I get the insolvents, heirs, and litigations signed by the chairman, it will go to Chris Lantini in the morning to the comptroller's office in Montgomery, and Covenant County will be all in balance for 2024. The next thing that was something talked about was the, let me get my sheet here before I lose my place. It says discuss 2025 ad valorem abstract review. Let me ask first, is there any questions on the insolvents, errors, or the litigations? Let's stop there. Michael, is there any questions on that?
No, Chuck, go ahead. I'm gonna do my individual motions, ask
Okay.
for individual motions.
All right, and so then the next part I was gonna talk about was the 25, which is this upcoming year ad valorem abstract review. What this is, we've taken all the numbers after we've done all the appraisals, after the state's come in and done their trend, told us that we're gonna go up in certain areas. We've combined all the taxes for Covenant County, and we're ready to announce what we will collect for 2025 by entity. And as soon as this litigation and insolvency is done, then probably tomorrow or the next day, we will complete our abstract. Then that will be sent to Montgomery, and it will be locked down for the amount of money that we will collect for 2025. And then the last thing I was gonna talk about is discuss the property tax trends. We'll put that up. What happens is the state auditors come in and look at all during the year, they look at the sales that have taken place in this county. And they take sales that are normally through real estate transactions. They call that an arm's length transaction. And you can see the number of sales by different areas, whether it's Andalusia, Opp County, Florella, Gant, or Point A. Those are the different neighborhoods we have in Covenant County. We could always create another neighborhood if we had some big growth of one particular area, but right now these are the neighborhoods. And so you can see the number of sales for those different locations. You can see what the state of Alabama came in and did the calculations based on buildings and land. You can see Andalusia buildings went up 12%, land went up 0. Opp buildings went up 16%, land went up 0. County was up 0, building and land. Florella was 13% on buildings, 0 on land. Gant was 9% on buildings and 30% on land. Point A was 0 on buildings and land was 32%. You can see the number of sales they used. I don't always agree with the state on those number of sales, but, you know, they're gonna make the decision based on what they say those numbers are.
Chuck, is this the property tax that they locked into a 7% increase max over?
That's the savior. That's the savior, especially for, again, it's a savior for all of them because we can't go over 7%.
Right. And
And
I
so-
think it was either 3 or 5 years sunset on that, that'll be revisited somewhere in that neighborhood, but I think they locked it in for a certain period of
Right, we
time.
tried to
They can
push
only
for-
go up 7% a year.
Right, we tried for 3%, you know, they started out at 3, but they went to 7. The state of Alabama chose 7, you know, wish they would have stayed at 3, but that's not my decision. So that's where we're at on the trends. But we've got to remember, y'all, the trends, if you bought a new house, you had a major remodel, then those are not gonna be in the trend. It's gonna take effect exactly what the trends are. Like all of y'all that have homes that y'all been there and not done anything to it, then y'all are gonna do the 7% increase in your either building or land. And I'm glad that Covenant County, as far as outside the cities, are at 0, because you have had a lot of activity in the years past.
Let me say,
Can you repeat what you just said now?
If someone,
Major upgrade?
yeah, if somebody builds a house, or somebody buys a house, or they do a major addition to the house, then they're not gonna fall under that 7% cap. They're gonna get reappraised because it's a new sale, or it's a new construction, or it's a remodel. And then they're gonna pay the trend prices for that first year of that happening.
Okay.
Is there a threshold for that remodel? That if it's over this amount, then you get reappraised, or how do you figure that without?
Yeah, I'll give you the numbers tomorrow. I don't have it in front of me, but there's a certain guidelines that we go through the state appraisal manual that they put out, and there's thresholds that we use for that.
So it's not based on what it costs to do the upgrade or remodel, it's based on the appraisal once it's done?
That's correct. We have an appraisal manual that tells us exactly, you know, whether it's marble or whether it's vinyl plank, you know. And so that's how we value
Was it
properties.
last year, Mr. Patterson, that we had such an increase, it was Florella and Opp,
Yeah,
that had such a high tax increase because of the number of sales? And we met with the auditor, and I was just amazed. I think Florella actually sold 7 houses, and it increased their tax rate. I don't recall.
well, look
but it
at
was-
this year, Ms.
it was a
Holmes. You got,
tremendous amount.
look at this year, Ms.
Yes.
Holmes. You got Florella with 6 sales this year.
Mhm.
And that was justification up, according to the state of Alabama, to go up on their buildings 13%. So you had, what, 6 home sales, and there's probably 600 or 700 homes
Right.
in Florilla that will get affected. But again, thank goodness that we all pushed for the 7% cap,
Absolutely.
and it went through, so that is some relief.
Yes.
But I think people need to understand the part about the upgrades or sales.
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah, it's gonna be hard for us to explain, because it's not gonna be hard for us to explain. There's gonna be a lot of them that's gonna question it, and we
And
need
what
to
you
be able
really
to
want
explain it
them to
really well.
understand is it's not the county raising those taxes.
Sure.
What's the timeline? What sets the date of those improvements? Is it just that fiscal year that you looked at?
That's correct, fiscal years, yes, sir. That's correct. They'll take building permits, they'll go to City of Andalusia op, pull building permits, go in there and look and see all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Thank you, Chuck.
I got one more thing, hold
Oh,
on.
yes, sir.
All right, let's see, my glasses fogged up. All right, so, we did the abstract, we did the trends, no, I think that's it. And let me see if I have a note right here on anything on the back. I wanna thank the people of Covington County for the $16.5 million that was given to all the cities and the counties in the state of Alabama that dug in their pockets during October to December and paid their property taxes. I just want to personally thank every one of those people.
And I'll agree, and that's kind of what helps fund everything, keeps everybody rolling, so that's, it's a big deal to us, and hats off to your department for really staying on top of it and getting it done. I think this year, you didn't have a whole lot of online sales,
No, we didn't. We sold them in 35 minutes, 32 minutes.
so it was,
And we encourage everybody that did lose a piece of property, you've got time to, redeem it. You got 4
And what is
years to
that time,
redeem it,
Chuck?
4 years.
4 years.
Yeah, and we continuously try to call or talk to people that might know someone where they can redeem that property. And it's an easy step to be done. It's not hard. Our office will help you walk right through it. We just have to have the legitimate documentation as far as being kin to that person at that house.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
At this time, I would entertain a motion for us to consider approval of the insolvents, heirs, and tax litigation for 2024.
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion from Robbie,
Second.
second from Tommy. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The other ones was just discussion. Next is be consider approval for employee contract for engineer. That is pages 18 through 23 in your packet. This is for the county engineer, Mr. Lynn Rawls. We've talked some with Lynn. It's basically the same contract that he just recently had with no increase in pay. Lynn's been with us as county engineer for how many years now, Lynn, as actual engineer?
16, but been with the county since 2000.
So Lynn's been with this county for many years serving. I think Lynn does a great job, and at this time, like I said, it's the same contract. Everybody's had a chance to read it. I would entertain a motion to renew Lynn's contract.
I'll make a motion that we renew Lynn's contract.
I'll second.
Have a motion from Ben,
Third.
Third.
a second from Lynn. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Next is consider approval to solicit bid for coarse aggregate sandstone.
And I appreciate the renewal for the contract, Commission.
And that is for 3 years. I
3
didn't
years,
mention that,
yes.
but it is for automatic renewal, or not automatic, but a renewal for 3 years.
The consideration for this, and I've asked in the past about maybe a secondary type material that I brought in and showed you guys. The vendor for this material, which is sandstone, which would have been the same thing I was looking at maybe putting out a bid for, the vendor agreed, is not going to renew his contract. He had an option to actually renew it, but declined to renew it. So I just asked that we give me permission to solicit bids for this material. It'll be 57 gravel, pea gravel, a mix, and probably a sand, probably a sand or overburden mix as well. And I probably may do them all a separate bid, but we will be tying, I talked to Ron today, and we're going to try to put a mileage, again, like I mentioned in the workshop, to try to, because just the closest or the furthest may get the bid, but he might not get by a penny versus the one that's 10 miles or 15 or 5 miles from here closer. So I got to make sure we look at apples to apples when it comes to transport costs and things like that. So, but anyway, I just request I can solicit those bids. So,
Hear from Mr. Rawls about consider solicitation for bids for all the materials he just mentioned. I'd entertain a motion to solicit bids.
That's the sample you wrote up here.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
You know, second. Motion from Robbie, second from Tommy. All in favor say aye. All opposed?
and this material is not as water, it's just not as bad to get it versus the limestone. Limestone's that's a little more sensitive to water when we go to get it. So it helps when the rainy conditions and everybody else is out, or it's got a lot of water in it. So this material would allow us to get it without having to pay for basically water tonnage as part of a rock price tonnage. So, but I appreciate that.
Hey, the bridge at Indian Creek, I went down there yesterday. It's complete, just the bridge. I mean, it looked good.
Today we backfilled the riprap under the first abutment, which would be the final one we built. We got the cap set, wing panels set. We got dirt up to the cap. We're going to be setting panels to all the components tomorrow. So basically, the bridge will be completed in whole tomorrow. We'll actually have the whole bridge completed. We still got to pour keyways, and we got to build the approach work. But that bridge is basically will be completed as of tomorrow.
Yeah.
It will still be closed to traffic. We raised that bridge, I think, 3 feet. So we have to get the approach work done. We started that today as well. And as you know, we've been under a lot of weather lately, and last 2 days been the last we can actually get and do some hauling. So we're going wide open on that tomorrow as well. So
How about motor grading and bush hog crews right now?
I'm actually going to give you an update. Kyle just put up our track spot. I was going to give you a summary for the month, where we are and where we've been. I can give you. I'll do one of each and kind of show you where we are in the county. The ditches were too wet, so we opted to go and start stripping instead of cutting all the way back. And the ditches are wet. You can tell where that lowest wing hangs off the shoulder, and you can tell what drags is wet. So, but I'll pull this up right here. Yeah, thank you, Cal. If I can see this. We'll do our bush hog first, and we'll go from from the first of the month right here through today. We'll execute this. This is what we've bush hogged as of right now. This is the county. I don't think we have the border shown, but anyway, we started, and this is just for the month. Then we can go back to when we actually started, but we're actually working up this way, and we're coming, and we're starting to fill the gaps in. So, as far as the motor grader goes, we kind of split the crews up. Some crews are going north, and some are still hanging around the south area, just so we can kind of work on areas in the county. As far as the motor grader goes, let me see right here. And this is where we started. We kind of, if I can zoom in a little bit closer, you can kind of tell where we are blading. And again, we've been working with a lot of rain every two days, if not every day. I know it was last 2 weeks. It's basically rained every day. So we're making a lot of rounds today just to we can try to get the county caught up. But that's where we are with our blading and our bush hogging.
What's the difference between the red, yellow, and green lines?
Red is probably a machine got transported. The green is basically the grading. It's kind of hard. This program sets up. We set a threshold on the speed of the machine, because it's based off a GPS, and it doesn't really know when the blade is up and down. But we figure the max the graders will be blading. Anything below that threshold will be green, which shows what we've actually bladed. Any yellow or red is going to be actually probably deadheading, going from one spot to the other. So that's what that is. But we're the guys are working hard and trying to get caught up. I know we got I think a chance to rain tomorrow. I hope it doesn't, because we got a lot of stuff we need to get done. So
It was tomorrow afternoon, 5, 6, but the last I looked, working in here was done.
But I just want to give you an update also. We have our, I'm actually representing Covington County, part of the RC&D Council. And our grant application is up, and the grants, I'm just going to read the email because they just sent us a reminder showing the deadline, I think, is 6 more days we have from today. It is due on the 30th of the month. And if you're in, and this is just not Covington County, this is Barber, Coffee, Covington, Crenshaw, Dale, Geneva, Henry, Houston, Pike, and Russell County. You can apply for an online grant through the RC&D Council. Applicants include local governments, municipalities, public school system like Pleasant Home that was just here today, fire departments, law enforcement agencies, any 501c nonprofit organizations as well. There's 2 types of funding that you can apply for. Education grants, support projects that in this education that may improve education through science, technology, reading, engineering, art, and math, any career development, curriculum improvements, outreach, or for any undeserved communities. That's what that one grant's for. And then you also have a general grant that's also, it's to fund vital projects that support first responders. I know Susan's applied every year for this grant. Rural health care, soil and water conservation, veterans, outdoor recreation, and community development. And those, again, the minimum award is $5,000. Again, the deadline is June the 30th, and you can apply online at wiregrassrcd.com/grant application. And it's online. You can do this online, but it needs to be done within the next 6 days. So I recommend anybody that's interested in maybe getting a grant. We've awarded schools a lot of stuff, and a lot of good applications come in on this. But some years you don't hardly get any. So we try to do an outreach to kind of let people know. And I did this, I think, a few months ago, letting you know this was available, especially if, like, I think Ms. Susan Short spoke one time on the, and I told her about this grant. So I think she's already applied for this. So it's a good thing. I think they're a 501c organization. So, but any school or, but you can go online and look at that. Again, it's the wiregrassrcd.com /grant application. You can go online and look at that. So
The one that, I think, Susan, was that for the baby?
that's the baby,
bond?
yeah, that's for the baby drop, yeah. But we'll review all those. There's a point system I think we kind of go by when we award these. And the director will come down around each county, and we'll sit down with each of us members that are part of that RC&D council, and we'll grade those applications, and then they'll make a decision based off all those. So
You got an update on Potter Road Bridge?
we're fixing to head there. We finished this week. Yeah, I think we got most of those encasements off the bridge there on behind Babby. 1 to 2 weeks, and I apologize. I know Ron, we're trying to get him back up here to get him to help us. Ron, I guess you call him. He's looking to maybe come back and help us about 2 weeks, I think. But I'll keep you updated as soon as I hear on their scheduling.
Are we through with the other one? Did you get
Yes, ma'am.
your
Yes, ma'am.
wraps, whatever it
Yes,
was,
ma'am.
off of them? So it's completely finished, and we can deed it back to the city of Ogden?
If they would take it.
Yeah.
Yes.
But we took care of the issues that was on for the piling, and we got those protected and encased. So, yeah.
You got my machines ready for Saturday?
I've got you. We'll have them cleaned up tomorrow or Thursday. We'll have those ready to go.
All
Yes.
right, 11 o'clock.
Who's driving?
I don't know, I didn't ask.
I got it.
Michael says he's driving one of them.
Thank you, Lynn.
All right. And do you mind me asking? That's the
24th of June.
24th of June celebration, and we'll have a motor grader and I know a dump truck in that parade down there. So, yeah. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Report from staff, Karen?
No, sir.
Reporting.
Yeah, thank you.
Discussion, Commissioners, District 1, Ben.
No, sir.
District 2. District 4.
No.
District 3.
Every single time. All I have is the June 24th celebration being Florella. It's going on the whole week. So if you just need something to do, they've got something going on.
If you haven't ever been to the Saturday parade,
You need to go.
it's big.
It is. It's as large as any Christmas parade you've ever been to in this county. It starts at 11 o'clock Saturday morning, and there'll be a tremendous crowd there. So if you've never been, go. I tried to remember, but I can't. I want to think they're around 100, and this is going to be the 100 and maybe, I guess, in 60th or more year that this has actually been going on in Florella. It's Masonic celebration. The oldest one, yeah, and I know I could remember my mama going as a little girl. So that's been a long time ago. I don't remember it, but I remember her telling me they rode a wagon down there. So I can only imagine what time they had to get up in the morning to get to go as a child. But so it's been around a while. So I know the community would love to have anybody that wants to come. And to go with that, our next event will be July the 4th. There's a parade here in Andalusia. It starts at 10 o'clock in the morning. If you've never been to that, it's also very interesting. That's just the way I'm gonna leave that.
And that starts at the First Baptist, is that correct, the First Baptist
First
Church?
Baptist, and I think this year they're going to go around the square
Okay.
before they disband. I don't know if they're coming back or not, but
You riding Johnny Harper, right?
that, I didn't want to say that, but that was the, that was the interesting part. Yes. That is the best part of the parade, for sure.
Any other business for the commission? This time I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I will make the motion to adjourn.
Ben, Robbie,
Yeah, you got it.
all in favor?